Hill, and also we'll have Shonda Curb. These ladies are two of the presenters at the My Story, My Journey Unbottled Retreat. We'll just be hearing a few words from them on the impact of this wonderful retreat. Hello, everyone. I want to welcome you to the Living Life on Purpose weekly broadcast. My name is Sandy D. Johnson, and I'll be the host today. And today we're going to be interviewing two of the wonderful presenters, two of the many wonderful presenters of the My Story, My Journey Unbottled Retreat. I hope everyone's having an awesome day. Hi, ladies. How are you doing?
Hello. Doing good.
How are you doing, Shonda?
Sandy.
So we're going to get right into it. I want to thank you, ladies, first of all, for joining me tonight.
I'm phenomenal. I'm kind of tired, too.
I'm there with you. I just literally ran through the door from work. Because with the pandemic and counseling, it's just kind of a lot going on. But you have to just work in the venue God has placed you in. And I thank God for it. So we're going to get right into it. So I don't want to hold you long. First of all, I want you ladies, we'll start with Kenya. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, Sandy. Well, I'm Kenya Hill. I am a school counselor, and I have 3 beautiful children. And most importantly, I would like to consider myself as a woman of God.
Tell us a little bit more.
What would you like to know, Sandy?
Where are you from? How many children you have? What made you say yes when Crazy Sandy asked you to be part of this retreat?
I'm originally from Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. And like I said before, I have 3 beautiful children, a 21-year-old daughter, 14-year-old son, and 11-year-old son. And a while back, God had just told me anytime that somebody asks you to do something for him to say yes. And there are times I want to say no. But being in his will is where I want to be. So whenever you approached me with this, I definitely said yes.
Awesome. And we're glad you did. You contributed so much to the last retreat. Let me just kind of let our viewers know. Usually I do an annual retreat once a year, but this was the first virtual one. And I was so nervous, like engaging women for 3 days online. And you know what? It ended up being such a blessing. And all the content was developed. I'm like, let's repeat it. Let's leave 2020 unbottled, because a lot of us have been sitting at home, sitting and stewing in our issues. But it's time to unbottle and release it. Shonda, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so hello everyone. I'm Shonda Curb. I am a pastoral counselor in the Killeen area. I've been doing this for I don't know how many years, too many to count, but I love what I do. So I keep going. I have 4 amazing children, although quite smart-mouthed. I have a wonderful husband. He is super amazing. I am originally, well, it's crazy because I was born in Tarrant County, but I lived most of my life in Hampton, Virginia. And I relocated back here after joining the military. So I did 8 years active duty. I am also a radio personality with Prison Break with Shirley and Shonda, and I have just started a new podcast with a girlfriend of mine from Florida. It is called Still Clay Podcast. And so that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Could you tell people how they would be able to view your podcast and your radio show? Where would they find that?
Sure. So Prison Break with Shirley and Shonda is actually on a local radio broadcast, 98.5 FM The Rock in Killeen, Texas. However, if you're not in Killeen area and you still want to catch the radio broadcast, you can either download the KRGN app Or you can catch us on our Facebook or YouTube page by the same name, Prison Break with Shirley and Shonda. We also have a podcast too, and you can catch that anywhere you view podcasts, Spotify, iTunes, any place like that. The same with Still Clay Podcast. Anywhere that you listen to podcasts, you can catch us. So Spotify, iTunes, places like that.
Well, thank you for sharing that. And again, I just want to thank you. I met Shonda. We co-authored the book together. I actually happened to have on a shirt called Grace to Recover. And that we sat next to each other. And the whole time I was there, I was like, she is an amazing woman. Like, and her husband, they were just so in love. And I was like, oh. And so when the opportunity came about, we were doing other little like women type groups together. I was like, what she taught on that day, I'm like, other women need to hear that. So I invited her and she gladly accepted. So ladies, why do you think retreats are important? We're going to start with Shonda.
Oh, Sandy. So I think retreats I especially think that retreats that are gender specific are important. So women's conferences are important and men's conferences are important. And so there's no better explanation than I can give from the movie Moana. I don't know if anybody's seen it, but there is this island girl and she's really kind of looking for her purpose, and it leads her to their this mythical creature, right? And their culture, and she's like super angered. And at the end of it, Moana ends up healing her anger just by understanding her and by coming alongside of her. And so then the power of womanhood together, there's something healing inside of it when sisters can come together and say, hey, this is my struggle. And another sister can say, hey, this is my struggle too. And let me tell you how I made it. And so in those spaces and places, there is collective healing that takes place. So I think that is so important. And for the men too, like there's something about being a man that only another man can speak to. And I don't care how many, women are versed in men, you have to speak man, right? So like you have to have actually lived it and experienced it to be able to speak to the issues of it. So it's so important that we have these conferences because they create spaces where other people can come alongside you in your healing journey.
Yes. And earlier today, I posted something in my group called that said, we need more women willing to say, I've been there and I'm here for you. You can always talk to me without judgment. That's part of the reason it's called the My Story, My Journey, because everybody has a story. Our story is our power, and we have to find the purpose in it, the purpose in that pain. So during a retreat, you have a chance to tell your story. One lady said, I thought I was going to be part of an audience. I said, girl, it ain't no audience at the My Story, My Journey retreat. We're all active participants. Okay, Kenya. Now, if you out there and you like, I don't want to talk, it's done in such a gentle way. God has just he just did it. Like people who were shy, they didn't feel overwhelmed by the way it happened. It was just all in the way that he pulled it together. Kenya, same question for you. Why are retreats important?
For me, I feel as if the retreat, it was important just because coming together, like she said, like with other women, hearing their story. There are times that, right now that we feel so isolated in our situations, that we feel as if that we are the only ones that are going through this or have gone through whatever it is. So when we come together and we hear that other people are going through something very similar or going through something that, that we've already overcome, we know that we are overcomers as well. The Bible says that we are overcomers by the word of our testimony. And so whenever we do have our testimony, we are able to help strengthen somebody else through their journey. So what we have to do, yes, I know. And so, us coming together at the retreat, it allows us to know that other people are going through this, but we can overcome, and we can rely on somebody else's strength sometimes, because sometimes, you just need to be able to know that, we can carry each other's load.
Because the word tells us we overcame by the Lamb and the words of our testimony. And our story is our testimony, and it's our power. Mm-hmm. And at the retreat, when somebody says something you agree with, you say, yes, sis, yes. So now we're going to go back to Kenya with when you heard the theme this year. My Story, My Journey, Unbottled. I don't know where this energy rush came from, but it just came. What was the first thoughts that hit your mind when you heard the words unbottled?
Oh, unbottled. Me personally, I feel as if for a long time I had been bottled
That's
up.
good.
Um, just kind of stuck in one little spot, or how can I put it? Um, just basically contained. And to become unbottled means that we can do all things through Christ who gives us strength. And so whenever we can become unbottled, we're able to do what God's will is, that's in our lives, not just for ourselves, but for those who are around us as well.
Very good. Same question for you, Shonda. When you heard the theme, what was the first thought that came to your mind?
Ooh, Sandy, you asked me this the last time. Yeah, I can't remember what I said last time, so this is a different. So when I think about unbottled, I think about being set free. Like something inside you that has been stuck under pressure, and then you're kind of taking that cork off and allowing all that to be released, whatever that is, whatever emotions or feelings or past hurts or past pains or old mindsets or anything like that. Just releasing those things. That's what I thought of when I heard unbottled. And I'm all about that. I'm all about everybody being free in the liberty that Christ gave them. So I'm super excited when I hear people talking about freedom in that way.
So unbottled, releasing those things that are binding you. And this is a two-part question. You can answer both or either one. What was your number one? What was your biggest takeaway from the September retreat? And what life changes has occurred? I'm going to start this off. My biggest change came about from Shonda's presentation. Because guess what I can do now? Cry unashamed and know that my tears are so important to God that He bottles them up. So what are those? What was some of your biggest takeaways from the September retreat? And if any changes have occurred in your life, what have they been? We'll start with Kenya.
I can say one of my biggest takeaways was there was a personality test that was given, and I was a golden retriever. I'm very loyal. And but I was also able to recognize that I do rely on other people's strengths, which were my lions. And one thing that I've been able to take away is now that just going through after the retreat, I'm able to see other people's lions or their personalities come out. So I'm able to recognize it and connect with it, and be able to you know appreciate what others bring to the table as well. Knowing that we all have different qualities or characteristics that we can rely on with each other.
Very good. Thank you. What about you, Shonda?
So my biggest takeaway was from, I think your daughter is Kristen Johnson, isn't she, Sandy?
Yes, that's my daughter. Yes.
Sandy?
Yes, that's my daughter, Kristen.
In her
Christian.
presentation, she talked about isolation. Yeah. She talked about being in isolation can sometimes be God's garden. And in that space, she kind of talked about the difference between when we isolate ourselves versus when God has us in a place of separation. And that honestly kind of blessed me really, really, really well, because sometimes we call a thing something and it's not really what it is. And we kind of have to follow God's leading when we're beginning to name things it is that we're experiencing. And so that kind of gave me more perspective about the way that my life has kind of been up until this point, and then being okay with the fact that it is that way and that it's that way for purpose, and then sitting in whatever that purpose means for me. So I really took away a lot from her presentation. I was super excited after she did hers, because I was very, very proud of her, as if she was my own daughter. I wish I had my stick so I could hold it up.
Yes. So right now we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back with our final question. My Story, My Journey is a 2-day experience that challenges women to open up their hearts to God, experience connection with other women, and learn about themselves. It is a call for women from all walks of life to connect deeply with their own dreams and God-given purpose. September 2020. During this world pandemic, we had the My Story, My Journey Unbottled virtual retreat. It was so impactful that we're doing it again. Join us for the winter edition. Move into 2021 unbottled and ready on purpose. Hello, ladies. My name is Sandy D. Johnson, and I am the hostess of the 2020 My Story, My Journey. We have an exciting time planned. Spiritual development, personal development, self-care to move your life towards the purpose that God has intended for you. We figure out how to get your skills, your gifts, and put them all in one. How your story, your journey, your hurts, your pains, your victories and joys all are coming together for the purpose that God intended them for. I cannot wait to see you. Hi, ladies. Welcome back. We had a brief commercial break. You didn't know we had commercials, did you? So we're going to get to the final question, which is, why is sisterhood important to you? We'll start with Shonda. Shonda, are you still, did she freeze? Kenya, you can go ahead.
You put me on the spot.
Sisterhood.
Sisterhood is so important.
I see you now. You're back. You can go ahead, Kenya.
Okay. Sisterhood, I feel as if that it is important for us to be able to lift each other up, not tear each other down. And you know, just like I said before, just being able to relate to the things that we all as women of God go through and be able to connect with each other on a level that we are able just to pull each other up and help each other pull down each other's strongholds as well. Just being surrounded by women who are, you know, going for positive change. And I heard her say the word mind shift the other day, earlier. And so being able just to have that mind shift, just to be able just to build each other up.
Okay, Shonda, is she with us still? I think she's frozen. I think she froze. So thank you so much. One other question, one last question I'm going to throw at you. You had your retreat pack. You were a guided retreat member. You got all your items. Tell me, how did all of everything in your packet line up with the retreat, and was that packet valuable?
The packet was extremely valuable because number one, we had the QR codes that guided you throughout the retreat, which was really cool. Being able to work through some of the activities through the packet was amazing. It wasn't just like we're just having conversations, but there were some internal things that were being broken while working through it, while working through that packet. The packet was basically like our guide throughout the, you know, even though we were online, it was a 3-day retreat, but it was definitely guiding us to where we were going to be going. And if you worked ahead, you can kind of see what was going to be happening for the next day, or to just kind of get an idea of the next speaker. So yeah, the packet was really valuable, and it had little things in there like the lip gloss, and everything meant something. So even with the lip gloss to your little pom-poms, and I'm trying to think, there were some other little things, but every little thing meant something that was in your packet. That was amazing.
So in that pack is just $75. It's probably valued at it is valued at way more than that. So go ahead. The deadline to register is going to be the 11th. Because if you're out of town, if you're out away from me, I have to get it in the package and get it mailed. So that's going to be on the 11th. Hold on, we got Shonda. She's back. I think she's back. And that's going, Shonda. There she is. Yay! So I'm going to go back to the last question. Why is sisterhood important?
Yeah, can you guys hear me okay? No?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, good. I'm sorry. So the reason why sisterhood is important is because sometimes we don't know ourselves. We think that we know ourselves. We think that we know how we are. But it's not until our personality is really reflected in another person that we kind of get a real understanding of who we actually are. And so sometimes sisterhood does that for us in ways that nothing else can. Also, too, like I said before, it's really women connecting with each other and being able to share their struggles from a feminine perspective. Being able to share that in those spaces is so very important and valuable. It also is empowering when you get a group of women together all in one space, believing for the same thing, with the same mindset, speaking the same language. There's an empowerment that kind of takes place. Like you could feel it all the way to your toes.
Yes, yes. It was just, I just sit back in awe of how God worked through that retreat.
Mhm.
And I'm really excited about the next one. Everybody's presentation was just like so on time. So I encourage ladies out there, get registered. Encourage someone else to get registered. Let me put the flyer up. So get registered is December 18th through the 20th. Let's leave this year unbottled. Thank you